Well, I had a hell of a time finding a place to record today. It's opening day of gun season for deer in the state, and all of my normal walking paths are full of hunters, which is great. But I'm not wearing any orange, so I wasn't going to risk it. But on the upside, I did find this, so it's worth it. So I didn't really have a plan today for any video topic. Figured something to kind of pop up that I'd want to talk about, and as life happens, I didn't have to wait long. In fact, my day hadn't even started yet. I was woke up by my dog nosing me and then taking a dump right next to the bed right as my eyes opened. And you can get mad about it, or you can just deal with it. And that's everything in life, right? We can let our emotions control everything we do, or we can deal with it. And you see it everywhere if you're a people watcher like I am. Not in a creepy way, just I've always been kind of fascinated by human behavior, so I watch how people react to things. Grocery stores, clients at work, coworkers, people in parking lots. You can learn a lot just by watching somebody. And there are usually only a couple ways that people deal with something like a misbehaving kid, for example. And I'm not going to turn this into a parenting lesson, so don't worry, but the point is that the vast majority of reactions to it are either anger or exasperation toward the child, with a third slightly lower reaction of just ignoring it and hoping the tantrum will go away, or letting them eat something out of the grocery cart before it's even been bought. Few people have patience and apply discipline to their kid, and I'm not saying people are bad parents by any means, they just haven't learned patience yet. Like, how do you deal with a traffic jam? Do you zip between traffic, go lane to lane, looking for any advantage you can while trying to get one more car length ahead of the rest of the pack, or riding the bumper of the guy ahead of you, screaming at him to go as you have to slam on the brakes every few seconds? Or do you pick a lane, stay a casual few car lengths behind and modulate your speed so that you don't have to overwork your brakes? I would bet it's the first one, but here's the secret. Both of those people will get through the traffic jam in the same amount of time, give or take a minute. One person just gets through it with a lot less stress in their life. Patience is learned, and it's extremely hard to learn because learning patience takes patience, or sometimes just a crash course that forces you to learn it because you don't have any other choice. Either way, it's not life's most fun lesson. And this is something that I had struggled with for years in kind of every aspect of my life, dealing with people, my impulse buying addiction, even not starting something, a project or business or something else, because the time and effort that it would have taken just seemed like way too much when I had problems now to deal with, even if these projects and ideas could have solved those problems in the long term. I'm still not the most patient person on earth. I'm very flawed in that aspect, but it is something I've been focusing on improving for the last few years. And it's something that's really helped to de-stress my life and kind of make me happier in general. I never would have been able to handle the stress of resetting my life over the last year without these efforts, because it's really taught me to just roll with the punches and deal with whatever comes my way. And now that I've started down that path, I can't really see living any other way. Your environment really influences your patience as well, is something that I've found. And obviously, these are things that aren't easy to change, but they absolutely can be if you want to. Moving out of the big city I grew up in and into a smaller city surrounded by country was the first time I really noticed this. I was still in a city with all the amenities of a larger city, but it was just somehow slower and less stressful overall. And that helped tremendously in taking my first steps to learning true patience. I'm not saying you have to leave a city that you love, but maybe try checking out a different neighborhood or suburb. I know I always felt trapped where I lived because it was all I ever knew, and so I get it. But the reality is that in today's world, you can pick up and move wherever you want, anywhere you want, anytime you want, and it's easier than ever because of the ease of transportation and abundance of jobs and money. And I know some of you are going to scoff at that, but objectively, and especially in the West, we are living in the most abundant time in history. There are opportunities everywhere. And with the internet, it's easier than ever to not even be tied to a specific location to make a living. It's just up to you to figure out how to make that future happen and take the leap. But anyway, the point of all this is that the next time your dog says good morning by having an accident next to the bed, just take a deep breath and deal with it. Because getting worked up isn't going to change the situation, and it certainly doesn't help to spike your stress first thing in the morning. And with all that said, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I really do appreciate it. Please do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe buttons. It really does mean the world to me and helps let the algorithm know that this video is worth the next person's attention. Until next time, take care.